Hello, this is my first helicopter. This is an Align T-Rex 450 Sport helicopter, and I just completed it, getting it all set up, and I designed this little test stand so that I could check everything out. It's a very simple test stand. This is a Lazy Susan, just an ordinary Lazy Susan with a piece of sponge rubber on it. I've got a piece of doweling here which is glued onto a little framework in which I strapped down the helicopter with a couple of little pieces of wood, some wood screws. The Lazy Susan allows the helicopter to turn freely. The doweling is the sponge rubber gives us a little shock absorption in case the helicopter drops down. It doesn't get a great shock when it hits. Also at the bottom of the doweling, I've got a pin going through the dowel so that the dowel can't rise up too far, and on top of the pin there's a spring with a couple of washers, a washer on each end of the spring above the pin so that the helicopter can't rise too far, and also gets a little shock absorption at the top if it happens to rise up quickly. And with this apparatus I'm able to check out the blade tracking to make sure that, for example, that each blade is in the same, following on same path as the other one. If one blade was generating more lift than the other one, it would be flexed up higher, and we could see that looking side on. We can check the vibrations, and we can check to see how there's a gyroscope, which solid state gyroscope, which controls the turning of the helicopter, and we see that that's behaving to see if I've got the time constants set up properly for that, the feedback set up for that. So we'll try it out and see how it works. Now we're spinning up here. See how it controls the turning? Locks into its heading pretty well. Doesn't just wiggle back and forth and back and forth. It seems to hold fairly steady. That's the heading hold mode. I can switch to the rate mode and see how that works. It also needs a little bit of trim. It's going off slowly, but the heading hold seems to work very well. Now we'll see if how it will lift, see if it'll hover. See that it hovers quite nicely. I've set up the pitch curve and the throttle curves on the transmitter so that I got nice behavior and hovering. And see there, it hit the top. And we see how it turns when it's in the air. Now I can try the tilt the blade, see how it works. I can't actually tilt the body of the helicopter because it's not really free except for the flexibility of the doweling, but I can check everything out. The blade tracking is very good. As you can see, if you look, you can see the blades are following each other in a nice disc. So all in all, I think this is behaving very well. The helicopter is behaving well. I think the test stand is behaving very well. I'm glad I've had the opportunity to check this thing out before I try to fly it. It's winter time now. This is the 17th of December. It's very cold outside here. This is New England. So this gives me a chance to play a little bit indoors. So we'll let her rest now. This was a very simple apparatus to build. I had just about all the materials in my scrap heap. Managed to find the Lazy Susan at a local hardware store. And also had to buy a spring to put at the bottom of that doweling, but I had just about everything else here in my scrap box. So it really didn't cost much to build this thing. It was really very simple to build, like just a few hours actually, and the thing was all done.